We get into a bunch of topics today, but first, if you're looking to score early this NFL season, you better be doing it with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's a $150 bonus bet coupon if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, an official partner of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. And last night, my guy, J-Dog182, won his first UCSS FanDuel parlay. He hates the fact the Steelers won, but he did win $84 on a $10 bet. He had the Steelers money line, under 36.5 points, and the Najee Harris touchdown. So shout out to B-Dog182 for that winning FanDuel ticket.
And congratulations to him. The FanDuel latest point spread on the game is 8.5, guys. By the way, I tweeted last night that I hate the Steelers with every fiber of my being. They always find a way to win. I felt like the Titans, I'm like, the whole game, Titans are going to win. Titans are going to win. Kenny Pickett does nothing the whole game. But he had the first drive and the last drive. Did nothing in between. And then when the Titans got that 4th down penalty on their last drive, I'm like, okay, they got a shot here. And I don't blame the kid. I thought the kid played pretty well, Will Levis.
Yeah.
He's looked good through 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Ryan Tannehill might have played his last game for the Titans.
Yeah, I'd say so. But God, I hate the Steelers so much.
I just hate their nasty
everything
playbook.
about them.
Their garbage little dink and dunk. Like, they don't be doing nothing. They get a couple sacks from Highsmith and T.J. Watt, and it's just they just go off of that stuff. I'm like, man, I hate them. I hate their game plan.
I hate T.J. Watt. I hate the team. I hate everything about it.
You can hate them, but you got to respect them.
You do. And by the way, I think I'll put myself in there. I think I downplayed their talent coming into the season. They're a flawed team. I mean, they're any other team.
Yeah.
But they're more talented than I gave them credit for, especially on offense. I mean, the Johnson-Pickens combo is better than I thought. And it's just, I don't like their quarterback. I still don't like the quarterback. I still don't think Kenny Pickett's any good. But anyway, getting to the Browns. Now, I mentioned the spread is 8.5, guys. At this point, at 11:06 Friday morning, we are, 50 hours roughly till the start of the game? We don't know for sure who the quarterback is going to be for either team. Now, coming up on WKYC at 12:30, we'll make our predictions, if we don't know it yet, which I'm assuming we won't in the next 90 minutes, for who we think is going to start. But either way, let's start from this perspective, Jason. I'll start with you. Does it matter in this game who starts for the Browns at quarterback?
Well, the Browns should win the game regardless of whether it's P.J. Walker or Deshaun. I personally think Deshaun should sit another week. You know, I don't see the need to bring him back at this point. P.J. Walker is not great. We've been over that time and again. He makes terrible decisions with the ball. The Cardinals, though, sort of waved the flag last week when they traded Josh Dobbs, and they basically pivoted for their season. And so I think the Cardinals they can bring pressure better than I think people realize. They can bring pressure on the quarterback. And so from that perspective, PJ, if it's PJ or Deshaun, is going to have to make good decisions with the ball. But the Browns should win this game regardless of who the quarterback is. You're at home. You're coming off a tough game that you probably should have won. And so I just feel like being at home, the weather should not be a factor. They should win this game regardless of who the quarterback is.
Jay, do you agree? You think it doesn't matter who plays quarterback for the Browns? They win either way?
I think it matters a little bit. I think the game plan changes a little bit depending on who the quarterback is. For me, this game, I'm not going to say it's a trap game, but, I mean, the Cardinals can come out here and beat the Browns, especially if the Cleveland Browns don't play to their strengths and what they need to do. And like you said, when you got P.J. Walker playing and this guy's giving up turnovers and strip sacks and when you get, especially inside the red zone, like he has to understand situational football. Like, hey, I'm over the 30-yard line. We got 3 points. Let's not give it up here. I think the Browns are favored for a reason. I think they are at home. But it is a little bit of a idea that changes my perspective, because to me, this was a week that would have been a perfect week to go back to DTR. You could have had him ready. Maybe, they kind of spot shot on him a little bit. They showed him in the Seahawks game. I think it would have been a great opportunity to go back to him. Obviously, they think that P.J. Walker is a guy that gives them a better chance. I would disagree with that. But, if Deshaun Watson is playing, even if it's a bad Watson, even if it's a Watson that doesn't have a lot on it, at least from my perspective, Deshaun would not give the ball away in certain perspectives at certain times of the game like P.J. Walker would. But do I pick the Browns that they should win this game? They should win this game if they want to be a playoff team. You can't lose to the Cardinals after you throw away a game in Seattle and call yourself a playoff team.
Yeah, I don't think it matters for this game. Especially because, well, two things. First of all, I just think the Cardinals are a really bad team. And so even with P.J. Walker, where, at quarterback, the Browns don't really have an edge. P.J. Walker is never going to have an edge over any other quarterback, even if that quarterback.
Even a fifth-round rookie?
Right.
Making his first start?
At worst, at best for the Browns, it's even, which in this case it probably is. So, but the rest of the roster, the Browns have a way better roster than Arizona. They're at home. It's a Western team traveling to the East Coast, not East Coast, but Eastern time zone for a 1 o'clock game. That generally is an advantage for the Eastern team, especially against a bad team. So you either have a guy making his first NFL start or his first NFL start in a year, either way. So the Browns should win the game either way. But another part of this, guys, is I just don't have any faith that if Deshaun Watson plays, he's going to really play that well. Like, I think even limited, I still think he's better than P.J. Walker, very limited. But very limited as we saw him against Indy. I don't know how much better he is because I just don't have any faith that he's healthy or healthy enough to play at a winning level.
Well, I think we've been fooled enough with this whole thing that until you see it, how can you? And that's sort of, goes back to why I'm a little surprised they didn't make a move last week. Forget the trade deadline. But when they didn't make a move for a quarterback last week, I kind of assumed, okay, well, then they're not going to pursue a quarterback. But I just don't know how you can have faith that Deshaun is going to be, number one, healthy, and two, healthy for the rest of the year. What evidence do you have of that? This is
None.
We've heard Bernie talk about how it's going to linger. This is, I don't see how you can have any faith that he's going to be back to 100% by the end of the year. I just don't think that's very realistic.
No.
So you're sort of operating without a net here. But, going back to one thing that you said earlier, I do think we could see the DTR package sort of expanded in this. They sort of dabbled with it a little bit. Seattle ran him out there. I could see something where he's out there for not a series, but for a gadget play or just a really. I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to give Baltimore and Pittsburgh something that they got to worry about. Even if they got to spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes on it in a practice, that's 10 or 15 minutes less than they're preparing for something else. So you're using this game to try and show Baltimore and Pittsburgh, just give them a little something else to think about. So I do think that we could see a DTR moment.
Again, later on WKYC, we'll predict who we think is going to start. I will say, though, that I thought Mikey McNuggets made a good point, Jason. I know you weren't here, but Mikey made the point of, in football, there's no equivalent really to a rehab start in baseball where you'd make a start in the minor leagues. But maybe playing the Cardinals for Deshaun Watson would be that equivalent. I think at this point, is another week of rest really going to help that much, if at all?
I think it will.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, you're talking 4 to 6 week injury. We're now, 6 weeks? Are we at the 6 week mark now? I think this is 6
Correct.
weeks.
This is 6.
Yeah, but, I just don't look at it that way since he played 2 weeks ago.
Well, and he looked terrible.
Right.
So I do think that the extra week matters because he looked so awful.
Yeah.
2 weeks, you're talking about 33% more. If he's had 2 weeks off, add one more week to that. I think it would make it for me. If I'm in charge, I'm sitting him.
But you just said what Bernie said, that it's not going to fully heal this year anyway.
Sure.
So how do we know it's not going to? It maybe it's already reached its peak of how good it might be.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then maybe we should see him against Arizona. Because if he screws up against Arizona, okay, they can still come back. But if he screws up next week, well, then we got a bigger problem.
Right.
That's going to be, if he throws a pick 6 to start the game, it's going to be a lot harder to climb out of that hole.
That's why I always assume that he's not going to be back 100%. Like we take into account for there's so many different ways you can set yourself back when you have an injury like this. You could be throwing the ball, you can land on your shoulder, you could be hit, you could be roughed up. You could have accumulation of swelling just from throwing the ball over a period of time, over a couple of week period of time. We don't know how this thing is gonna. And one thing that everybody knows that has had injuries and difficulty with surgeries or anything, wait till it get cold outside. This is a guy who who was admitted does not like the cold weather. Now you got an achy shoulder. It's November, It's December, it's cold outside. You're landing on it. That's why, for me, I've always thought like Cleveland Browns fans and the coaching staff cannot count on Deshaun Watson riding in, just making sure that everything is on him. Like, hey, we get Deshaun back, we'll be ready to go. I don't think that's smart. That's not going to happen.
No.
Not this year.
And it's not going to be brutally cold on Sunday, but it's not going to be hot.
Yeah, right.
It's probably going to be 50 degrees at game time.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Hey, I'll take that for that lakefront in November.
Yeah, especially since, again, Mikey McNuggets and I will be tailgating. We are coming down to the Muni lot. Yep. We will come stop by your tailgate. We're going to try to hit as many people as possible. We're going to try, we'll see a lot of people out there, but if you specifically would like us to come, send us an email, send us a message on Twitter if you're going to be out there.
What time are you guys heading out there?
We still haven't figured out an exact time.
I'm going to guess 9 o'clock.
Yeah, probably not.
Working time, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, man. All right.
That means I have to get this. I have to be there here at 8. So if I want to go,
why you got to be here at 8?
Well, if I want to get to the Muni lot, because I got to be.
Yeah, but the Muni lot's right here.
If I get to the Muni lot at 9, that's 2 hours. That's not enough time because I got to go to the radio at 11.
Yeah.
Maybe 8:30. We'll chat.
Figure it out. We'll figure it out. But let me ask you this question, guys. We've been talking about, does it matter in this game in terms of win-loss whether Deshaun Watson or P.J. Walker play? And we all are in agreement that we think the Browns will win no matter which of those guys plays. Now, I think at this point we're all assuming that Clayton Tune, the rookie, is going to start for the Cardinals. If Kyler Murray plays, does that now change your opinion on whether it matters or not if Deshaun Watson plays? G, start us off on this one.
Well, listen, if Kyler Murray is playing, that's a different animal. Now their room for error goes up a little bit. Now you got to take in consideration. Now look, he tore his ACL. I don't know if he's going to be running around but I assume that if he's Kyler Murray, that's part of his game. Right. At least he's going to be able to extend plays. And you saw what Kyler Murray did to the Browns a couple years ago when he was here. Completely embarrassed the Browns, against in that game. So to me, of course, if Kyler Murray plays a little bit, that's going to be, a better chance for the Cardinals to put points on the board. However, it's like preseason for him. We talk about Deshaun Watson being rusty. This guy hasn't played any preseason, hasn't done anything. He's coming right off the IR, right to the field, playing against the Browns defense that has been dominant at times this year. So, it's a little bit of a boost for them, but I don't expect that to be the determination of whether the Browns win or not.
Yeah, G, you sort of went where I was thinking. You guys remember what Deshaun looked like against Houston last year, coming back after a long layoff? Yeah. It was a disaster. And this is a significant knee injury. You don't know where his mental is. Can he go off that knee? Does he have the confidence in it? And I saw Drew Petzing, the Browns' old quarterbacks coach, who's now Arizona's OC, said this week, it'd sort of be like playing a game July 28th. That's how many practices Kyler's had. So for that reason, I think I'd be a little bit surprised if Kyler plays on Sunday. He just hadn't had a lot of practice reps. So is he better than Clayton Tune? Yeah, okay, probably, sure. But I don't think it's a drastic difference at this point just because of how much time he's missed, the injuries coming off, and the fact that he really hasn't had a lot of practice reps yet.
I think no matter what the quarterback combo is in this game, whatever it ends up being, I think the Browns are likely to win the game. I think we all agree there. However, I will say that with Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray's best is really good.
Oh, yeah.
His best is really good.
Sure.
And he, at times, I think people have kind of dismissed him as he's not a good quarterback. Now, he's played in a system, in my opinion, people have been critical of him, his lack of the whole thing with the contract last year. Is he working hard enough? Who knows? I don't know what the truth is there. I would say that he was playing for a terrible coach in Cliff Kingsbury, who never should have been an NFL coach in the first place. And Cliff Kingsbury just let him kind of do whatever he wanted and didn't have a system in place. Now they do. Whether he's ready to play in it or not, I have no idea. But Kyler Murray is still, you don't get drafted in the first round in 2 different sports if you're not a talented player. He's a talented player. He's way more talented than Clayton Tune, and he's way more talented than Josh Dobbs. So it is a wild card. Again, even if he starts, I still expect the Browns to win. I don't think the line's going to change much because he hasn't played in forever.
Right.
But would it stun me beyond belief if he started and played a good game? No.
If you told me the Cardinals quarterback ended with 250 passing yards, I'm going to guess it's Kyler Murray that played and not Clayton Tune. Fair?
I would agree with that. I would agree with
from that, I mean, certainly the ceiling is higher with Kyler.
Way higher,
I just think, like, Browns fans more than anyone have seen what it looks like when you're coming back mid-season after a long layoff when everyone else is rolling and in rhythm, and you're starting from scratch.
I mean, man, this is so crazy. I'm just sitting there thinking in my head, though, it would be kind of nice to see Deshaun Watson come out there, go through a whole game, get hit a couple times, get up, not be injured, throw for 225, 230, maybe a touchdown or 2. And then get ready, and then I'd have some confidence going into that Baltimore game, saying,
yes.
Okay, all right, we got something to think about. But I worry about him playing, just knocking off the rust, just going right back to Baltimore. It's a tough one.
Mikey?
Jason said Browns fans have experienced seeing a quarterback come off a long layoff and potentially being rusty. They also have experience this season of seeing a 5th-round pick come into a game where he didn't have a full week of reps leading into the game knowing he's the starter, which could be the case for Arizona with Clayton Tune this week, who was drafted 1 pick ahead of DTR. 139 was Tune, 140 was DTR. With what we saw from DTR in that Baltimore game, where he was thrown into the fire, not fair to judge him. Obviously, it was a catastrophic result. What would it say if Clayton Tune was able to come out under not apples to apples, but apples to oranges circumstances here and play well against the Browns defense? Would that be an indication or indictment on the Browns and their preparation, or would it be an anomaly?
I mean, it's not completely apples to oranges situation. Clayton Tune, as far as we know, he doesn't know for sure he's starting this week. Maybe he does, and we don't know that, but we don't know for sure. He's never played, and he's going longer into the season without playing, so it's been longer since he's played in a game than DTR. Plus, the Browns had to face a tough defense in Baltimore. DTR had to face a tough defense in Baltimore. Clayton Tune has to face a tough defense in the Browns. DTR at least got to play at home. Wasn't that Ravens game at home?
Yes. It was at home,
yes.
Correct.
Or Clayton Tune's got to play on the road. And Clayton Tune's got way less talent on his team than DTR does. So if anything, this would be even a tougher spot, in my opinion, for Clayton Tune than it was for DTR.
Yeah, we don't know how they're dividing the practice reps. I don't think.
We don't.
I haven't seen how Arizona divided the reps. That's where I think the Browns ran into trouble. They were trying to get 2 quarterbacks ready, and they had neither ready with Deshaun and DTR. The Baltimore week, that's when, I think I said on the show, Deshaun took all the run reps and DTR took all the pass reps. So when you try to get 2 ready, you don't get any. And I don't know how it's going in Arizona. I don't know if Kyler's splitting the starters reps with Clayton or if Clayton's getting all of them. But it does make a difference, especially in the situation you're talking about where you're a young guy trying to make your first start. Obviously, you want as many reps as possible to be ready to go. But at the same time, you're trying to gauge how far away the veteran is and how much more time he needs. So it's a tough spot for the Cardinals to be in.
I mean, this is a job where when you come in and you look at Schwartz, you look at this defensive line, and you say, look, we're not giving no rookie all this space. We're not giving him none of this. The same way they do us with our terrible little JV quarterbacks with DTR and PJ. They don't take no time to be coming after PJ Walker. They just, right now, 5, you want to go 5 wide, we'll bring 6
that's
people.
That's what the Steelers did against Will Levis yesterday.
Look, when you get a rookie in there, you have to let him know, this is going to be a very long day, and this is what the NFL is about. We're going to bring heat and pressure, and you're going to have to figure out in like 2 seconds where to throw the football. We should be jumping routes. We should be getting sacks. We should bring the heat from beginning to end, and the goal is to embarrass him. That's not lighten up or let him get comfortable. You don't let rookies get comfortable.
Coming up on the WKYC portion of the show today, folks, Mikey McNuggets, who is I took away his S, Mikey McNuggets, who is great with his Friday, 5-pack. Is it a 5-pack or 6-pack? I can't remember what it is now.
5 stats you need to know.
5 stats you need to know that he does a really good job with every Friday. There is one of those that we're going to talk about on WKYC that is mind-blowing when it comes to rookie quarterbacks against Jim Schwartz. Very interesting stat. That's coming up a little bit later. Go
We
ahead,
actually have a little bit of breaking news real quick.
We do.
This is Browns related, but not quarterback related.
Oh.
Kade York is a New York Giant. The Giants have signed Kade York off the Titans practice squad after Graham Gano had his season cut short due to a knee injury. And if Kade York thought the Cleveland media was tough, is he in for a surprise when he misses a kick?
Well, they
in New
just
York
signed a
City?
veteran kicker yesterday. That's weird.
Randy Bullock, who's going to be on the practice squad. The Giants are signing York to the active roster.
Oh.
So
I
York
guess-
is expected to be the Giants' starting kicker this weekend.
Wow. Why would they bother bringing Randy Bullock, a veteran, to the practice squad? Maybe they're going to compete this week and they'll change their mind. Who knows? But all right, we'll see if Kade York gets a chance with the Giants.
Good
Get him
luck
up
in New
out of
York.
here.
Good luck in New York.
He's done. Dunsky.
I actually love the Giants this week. They're my best bet. Love the Giants.
Who they playing?
They're playing the Bears.
No, they play the Raiders.
I'm sorry, the Raiders. They're a 2.5-point dog.
That is a horrible game.
But I don't understand why the Giants are an underdog in that game.
Because they suck.
But the Raiders suck worse.
No, every
you
time
sure
you
about
fire
that?
your coach, you get a bump.
You get the.
You get the coach fired bump. Come on.
that doesn't always happen.
And Antonio Pierce, who's the Raiders' interim coach, was the Giants' middle linebacker when they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
I know that. But Daniel Jones is coming back. Listen, I know he played terribly early in the season, and I'm not a big Daniel Jones fan. He's a solid NFL quarterback who just played poorly earlier in the year, and there were circumstances that contributed to that. He is a solid NFL quarterback.
Are we
to say any, I believe that.
Are we sure about that?
Well, I feel like he's solid, not spectacular.
He's okay.
Way
He's
overpaid. They're starting Aiden O'Connell, the Raiders. I don't know. I love the Giants this week.
What kind of bump do you get when you fire the GM, the head coach, and the OC?
Oh, listen, that's like
That's a touchdown.
That's a
And you
Super
bench
Mario
your- and you
Brothers.
bench the
That you get
quarterback.
spit power, you hit fireballs, and you get the star, and a raccoon
and you go to the
tail.
rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
Well, we got Tim setting up here, so let me
Yeah.
do a FanDuel. We'll bring Tim here in one
Okay.
sec. But we actually had the wrong ticket pulled up last time, so we're going to give this
Oh.
guy another shout-out again
Bad job,
because
Andrew.
we love our FanDuel customers and anyone who bets with us using FanDuel. So if you're looking to score early this NFL season with FanDuel, you better do it now because FanDuel is unquestionably America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and much, much more. So make sure you head over to FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, an official partner of the NFL season. And we mentioned